All right. I'm back way sooner than I was expecting to be. I do not have Polo with me. Um, Flo and Pepsi moved up their game to basically right now. So, let's see if I can find them real quick. All right, so we made it in time. They haven't started. And now they have started. All right. Here we go. Flo opens with E3, B6 from Pepsi. This is what we normally see from Flo, although he's been mixing it up. Sometimes he likes to go there. This has been his new thing now. All right, so Pepsi puts the knight back. Flo dumps his bishop and develops his knight. So Flo definitely knows what he's planning on doing here. So Pepsi brings the knight out this way, threatening on this spot here. Hello, Kex. Congratulations on making it to the finals. I can't draw arrows. I should stop there. Just wait and see what happens. Thought I had. I have an issue where I can't seem to use the chat, so it wants to open a browser and do different things instead of being in the window that I should normally be able to chat in. So all right, so for Pepsi, nothing changes in this round. Like, he's finishing first regardless of what happens here, and he's going to play sup witches. But for Flo, this is everything. He needs to win in order to make it to the next round. Otherwise, Devanch will be moving on to face Kex in the first semifinal. So Pepsi calculating to see if it's okay for him to come down here. But he decides to trade instead. And that's interesting. Kind of giving away the rook. Flo's not going to ditch his king. So one, either he just ignores this. Although I don't know what other options he really has. So yeah, dumps the knight. So Pepsi's not developed, but I kind of like his position a little bit better. Right now there's a pin on the knight. Yeah, so Flo's going to grab space. Pepsi's going to say, put it back, or get rid of your rook, which Flo's probably not going to do. Or, yeah, what do I know? So Pepsi's up on time here by a minute. You feel like you just kind of march up and right now Flo doesn't necessarily need to move the king, but do we, or does he? We got here, and then there, and then maybe here. No. But either way, flow stops that. So he blocks the pawn and kind of stops the pin, so if he wants at some point he can do that. Maybe you see that, or maybe he just keeps pushing this A pawn. Which I feel like then flows retreating. I mean, he's allowing that. There's no intermediates on this move, but maybe Pepsi can develop. I mean, this is a problem though, because you've got that capture chain set up. I don't know if that's made or not. If he pushes here, I think that stops it. So maybe A3 is forced. Yeah, so just retreating the king to keep it. Really, Pepsi needs to develop over here. Yeah, say like I figured this pawn gets pushed, so we can threaten this at some point. Or even just something like that. Say unlikely to see Flo doing anything here quite yet. Flow down to 12 seconds here. Not a lot of pieces or spaces to go. So Pepsi has a minute to determine what he wants to do here. Single intermediate's not going to cut it. He needs two, which is not available. But if he comes up, we capture here. Both of these pieces are covered. But then can he push and come down here? Wait, that doesn't work anyways because that pawn's sitting there. So both of them really low on time. Pepsi plays it safe, or is that safe? I think it is. Both of these players can play pretty fast. I feel like maybe Pepsi's slightly faster, but that's my opinion. Flo is definitely not slow. He's got a tempo, which he takes. And really, like, can he just force the promotion? Like, where's a spot to grab? 6 seconds, yeah. Push that H pawn. Flo's got a little bit of time, but he has to decide what he's going to take. Bishop kind of gets you like that drawing area. No, because this can get killed here, but he's going to end up with the pawn left. Maybe a bishop promotion. He's got to do it. Goes for rook. Did I show the black pawn going this direction? I hope I did, because that would be hilarious. Alright, Flo takes the first game. Pepsi is white, goes with G3. Flo taking a little bit of time to respond there. Kind of trying to determine what he was going to do there. And now Pepsi doesn't have a quick response to this. So it feels like maybe he was expecting something different. Alright, opening the bishop. Pepsi ignores and now has knights in the corners. Or on the sides. Oh, that's interesting. Really not a fan of G3, B3. Like, I don't like it as white or black. Like, I just don't like that game. So Flo trying to decide if something like that makes any sense, and then we're queen racing. Or does he just capture back with either one of these pawns? And I kind of feel like you'll end up saying this to threaten to grab that rook. So Pepsi gives it a target first, but I don't know if that changes anything. You can grab then the bishop, which is coming through all of these pieces, and Flo should be able to just come down here with the queen and make it last and get the win. Yeah, because now he can come over. I mean, he's got the dark squared bishop, though. That's kind of the difference. But he could also just kill the king, which is not fun. For white. Like, can Pepsi take here? No, because then we get this. So if we capture here first, then this pawn is pushed so that we get these. That's smarter, because then you get the rook. So we get a resign. 2-0 Flo. So Flo takes on h7, which again, this is, I've played Flo on this line many times. So I feel like that's all theory. That's interesting though, I haven't seen the 2 rooks on that side. Flo's moving fast too, like I don't know what the 2 rooks on this file, what that was gonna accomplish. At some point maybe the A pawn gets pushed. You got this. I don't know about that. I cannot draw arrows. Like, this gives him a chance to get rid of that pawn, which I feel like this pawn was sitting here was the problem, but I guess Pepsi's done some calculating here to say he can win with this promotion. Which I'm not going to do the calculating, but hopefully he's right for his sake. Like, what's he going to do with this pawn right here? Surprised he went for it that fast. Like, and Flo's got 3 minutes and 19 seconds on his clock. Alright, so pushing the H-pawn, we've got a rook promotion. There's no, I don't say, is there like an intermediate? This gets that killed, but then there's so many pawns everywhere. Like, that gets 2 pawns killed either way. I feel like Flo takes these 2. Black just resigns. Flo up 3-0. From Pepsi's perspective, he's going on and his opponent's already like decided, so like he doesn't need to exercise his brain too hard to wear it out or anything. I mean, that's going to be a problem. Has to take here. Right, so it looks like he's considering capturing back and saying that this rook up here is safe, which I don't know. Looks like maybe it is. There's no intermediates. Flo trying to figure out if there's something he can do. Decides it's more of a stalling move. I feel like you just kind of develop the knights, or maybe this king needs to go somewhere. If like this king is off to the side somewhere, then you can attack this square. That doesn't feel right though, so I feel like just developing the knight. Like maybe that, maybe that, maybe this comes over somewhere. So Pepsi in a much better position here. Flo's rook doesn't have safe squares to go. And eventually we threaten towards kicking this knight. So uncovering this piece, and you'll kind of see this next, so Flo might just have to do this. One of those two squares. The rest of them are all bad. Yeah, and Pepsi still pushes that and says, I'll just take that knight. So he can set up mate, although I don't see mate there, and this direction also doesn't do it. So he's got to make one more move to threaten the knight. In the meantime, Flo just retreats it anyways. It's a good move there. Threatening this. Which he can still leave it, right? This piece is currently triple covered. So maybe this piece gets moved or becomes less covered. Where do we see this? Flo just he has nowhere to go. Everything's in a really bad spot. Rook can't move. This is still being threatened right now. But he can't move this king, so because then the rook comes down. So Flo needs something super brilliant. Not seeing it. Kind of a last ditch effort. Pepsi's got 20 seconds though, so he's got to kind of be careful of how he's gonna do this. Like, I don't know, like, does that just happen? So he just moves his king back and says, all right, Flo, you move another piece again. Like, bring this knight out. Yeah. So then is that mate? I don't see... There's not like a follow-on after this. This is double covered. I think if Pepsi had more time, maybe he could have done something with that, but he had to move fast. But now he's got this pawn over here that he's got to figure out how he's going to get that killed. I mean, I feel... Okay, that's interesting. I was going to say, I feel like Flo just needs to move this, but that makes it so his king can stay over here. So you got these two pawns kind of racing. White's further advanced, so they're going to promote first. So king promotion. Flo dumps his king and starts pushing the pawn. I feel like Flo still wins this, or is it a draw? Like, he's got this knight. Like, he can take the draw right now. He's not going for the draw though. He's going for the win. You might want to take the draw though. Yeah, say a bishop promotion. Maybe black can win here. I wouldn't know how to do it in the right amount of time. Yeah, so this isn't an easy endgame, and I kind of feel like we've got... This doesn't really matter so much to Pepsi, so it's like... How hard does he feel like trying? So threatens to go after this bishop. So... I don't know, like what? Pepsi offers the draw. So Flo goes further away so that it can't... It's not a repetitive move, but this knight still sits here. And that's the piece that Flo has to get towards the middle of the board somehow. At some point, though, Flo's going to get too low on time and probably just needs to accept the draw. Like, sure, maybe if you have 4 or 5 minutes. Alright, so I don't know, I feel like that's, so he was able to move the knight, but I don't know if that changes anything. Now we've shifted to the other side of the board. Yeah. Can we just take this? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, Flo, if anybody, Flo knows, so apparently he's got it. For nothing, Flo. Nicely done. I don't know enough about this position if he just blocks. Normally you don't want to put a piece back, but I like doing it because I think it's funny. If you go here, then that kind of opens up that space. But if you go here, like, where's this queen come out? Don't know if that changes anything. So this square's in contention at the moment. So Pepsi has this knight, which doesn't, like, it stops there. Discovered attack, like there's no, that piece is covered, so that doesn't do anything. If there was another kill after that, though, then you could get over here. So that has to go. And then we've got like this and this. White has to take here. Good find from Pepsi. Yeah. Flo resigns. Pepsi takes one. 4-1 halfway through. So Pepsi's, or no, Flo's gonna play c5. Oh, here we go. I was like, I feel like we've seen this before. We have, but I need to be looking at it from White's perspective. I think last time we saw this. So I think Pepsi had the better position last time and didn't find the mate, kind of just got low on time. So kind of the same run as last time, but he left this here. If this gets pushed, you just see the knight come up and recapture. Alright, so that allows him to develop. So this is a lot like that last game, except now Pepsi's other knight is also developed. We get an intermediate, so Flo's able to dump the bishop. We've got doubled pawns. So Pepsi retreats his knight. And then I guess, yeah, start pushing these. Although this is looking to be a threat here too. So yeah, so this and your rook will have to move at some point. You might see the knight keep moving. I mean, I think Pepsi still has a material advantage here. Can slowly push these pawns, which will probably force Flo to get rid of his rook. I think this pawn can just go all the way up. Both players with basically 2 minutes on their clock. And Flo is winning 4-1 halfway through the series. Black offered a draw. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Like, I think Pepsi's not just going to give him the win. So he's going to run his knight to the top of the board. So now if the knight comes here, you don't have all those covered squares. So the knight's not going to have as far to run either. Although I wonder, like, if that... I mean, Pepsi's definitely in the better position right now. Flo's good at finding his way out of things, though. So he gets rid of his knight. Like this pawn coming up, you've got a capture chain. I think that might be what Pepsi's sitting on at the moment. I feel like at some point too, this rook ends up coming over. Maybe not to that square. Maybe just to here. You don't want to. I don't think you want to double cover that piece. That's an interesting move. Because the knight's covering the rook, so if he were to go to an intermediate, it's not a follow-on. That's a better intermediate, though. Gives 2 kills. All of these pieces are not covered. So good find. Great find by Pepsi. Just has to be careful, yeah. Like, all right, 4-2. Nice work from Pepsi. All right, we saw this line, but I think last time Pepsi pushed this as opposed to doing that, so this is a little different. So Flo develops his knight, and Pepsi pushes the A pawn. Alright, so Flo's threatening to try to obtain a tempo. So Pepsi blocks it, opens up this diagonal, which is fine. I think like that's safe, right? Technically you've got this where you can grab the queen if you need to, but that's also not going to accomplish anything but get rid of your own material. I don't see any intermediates, and this square is being threatened here. So he does grab the queen. Which again, like, this space is double covered, this one's triple covered. And then this pawn is pushing towards this square, which has the bishop and or the knight there, which are both bad. Like, if a knight's there, this bishop's coming here. Like, is there any way that like that works, because you get this and your rook recaptures? I don't know if that just loses or if that's the safe way. Comes over for that, which really maybe Pepsi just captures it. It's like, hey, I'll take that. So yeah, so Flo to decide. It's not going for the queen race, but he has this option. So the problem with this, I mean, maybe he can just slide it over. I'm looking to see. I don't see Flo. Like, if he grabs the knight, does it go anywhere? He does. He says, I'll try to get that bishop. Like, I'm kind of feeling like this is what the main threat is. Like, he wants to leave this just sitting here. Like, this still just comes up, right? Like, or does that happen and then this happens? That's kind of a weird setup if you get this and that, and then a long march to get your king over, which technically you could go like that and bring the king even further away. so that kind of prevents the knight because he can capture back here. So Pepsi giving some space for his rook to come get in the game. Flo retreats the bishop. Still feel like maybe you see the rook developed. So Flo blocks the bishop so it doesn't come out. I was wondering like if the bishops came out, like you're just, that doesn't get anything besides losing your material. Thing is, Pepsi's got these two pawns. Huh. I guess like this bishop's stuck in here. So either way, you can dump these and then this is blocked in, but this is a threat to open that file up. Flo with 19 seconds just moves his rook over. So yeah, asking what King F7 was, that kind of took it away from being a threat to the bishop. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is... Pepsi looking to see if he can find mate here. For a second I thought we were going to end up with like 5 kings on the board and just be a draw, but there might be a space for Pepsi to go to get a win. Bishop. Interesting. I'm not sure how long they're going to play this game. I don't know, like if Pepsi has a way to get a win. Like, this king is in the corner, so like maybe he's fine with killing off this one and having this guy trapped over here. Boy. Alright, so they draw. I'm glad because I didn't want to watch that any longer. So, we're doing this one again. Alright, so Pepsi upgraded it slightly last time, so he's going with a different line here. Like, do you just get like an intermediate like that? And this is a nice spot for the knight to sit. Now we're threatening that. Although, like, this is gonna need to happen for mate. Flow up 4.5 to 2.5. I think that's the right play by Flo to come over and say, hey, I'm gonna come defend this square with my king. Interesting. Like, was that mate there before? No. Yeah. I think Chess Demon and I were thinking the same thing there for a second. It's not. So Flo's kind of getting squeezed here. There's 3 more games. All right. All right, that's interesting play. So we get that. See, I mean, I think that's a great play. Just like, I'm going to take your king and your rook, and there's nothing you're going to gain from it. Like, there's no, even with the tempo, your 2 moves, you can't find anything. And Pepsi's completely fine with this position, I think. Like, it needs to be careful. This bishop is pinned, and I feel like we're threatening to come at this square, but maybe you just move this rook over. You got to get the bishop out of the way. Is there another piece that you can cover with? Alright, so now he allows that bishop to be moved. Which maybe he does now. I mean, the rooks are doubled, but this is the only file, and the king's got it covered. So both players starting to get low on time. The famous RE1 being called for. Alright, so Pepsi finds mate. Does it very nicely. And it is now 4.5 to 3.5. So Flo started off strong, and Pepsi's kind of making the comeback, which we've seen plenty of the comebacks happen in these series. All right, so we've done this one. I think last time, excuse me, I think last time Flo took d7. Alright, so different again here, but Pepsi's going to be pushing this piece. I feel like natural is that, but I don't know like what like if we're afraid of that at all or not. Like, I don't think so, but so that feels similar to where you've got the pawn. Bishop attacking. That's fascinating here. Like, it's one thing to have now you can't retreat it, and you've got this extra piece, which the queen's covering it at the moment. So Flo blocks it. So Pepsi's threatening this. So this piece is now uncovered. I don't know if you see like that, but Flo comes out and attacks. He's got the rook attacking now, a knight attacking. Pepsi can attack here as well, and then do some capturing back, and then this rook's coming up the board too. Right, Pepsi's moves, he's only got these two. And this one gets you a tempo, I think. And I say he only has these two squares when he was attacking this one. It's not like it disappeared. So Flo has to go here, right? Or no, he doesn't. He's got this one too. So Pepsi calculated it out. If we get here, is there a two-piece intermediate? There's not. I don't know what's... Feels like there should be a mate. I don't know if I see it though. So you have that with this. Black has the advantage here as far as having a king, I guess. Like no king for white. Both of their pawns are all spread out all over the board. Flo's trying to give himself some breathing room if he needs to. Pepsi's happy to eat those pawns up in the center. I mean, is this safe here? That's interesting. Probably much smarter. So he's threatening here. Like Pepsi can get the bishop, but it stops there, which he needed to do. Like, just get rid of that pawn. So now Flo has his H pawn that has to go the entire distance. Wait, is this... No, because that's double covered, that square. So I think Pepsi wins here. With this space being double covered. So Flo gets rid of his rook. I mean, there's nothing he can do here. Like, he can... Yeah, he resigns. Alright, folks. 4.5 to 4.5. We're good. Flo with such a strong start. Pepsi turns it up. All right. Oh, switch it around here. White's perspective. I feel like we're playing a different line though this time. I am a fan of that. When I face the Polish, I love just sliding pieces over. I don't think it accomplishes much, but it's a little entertaining. So Flo needs to win this game. Match number 10. Very exciting. They're putting on a show for us. Hello, anonymous person in the chat. Kind of crazy match here. It looked like Flo was gonna run away with it. Chess Demon's asking for a queen race. He's like, bring it out. He does bring it out, but Pepsi just kills it. Like, says, no, we're not going to race. Let's play this. Let's play this to the end. So that's interesting, though, with this pawn being pinned up here. All right, so the knight comes out kind of threatening this a little bit. Flo opens up his bishop. Also threatening here. Like, do you see this? This space is double covered. But you probably can't have your knight going here, and you can't let your bishop be grabbed. Be grabbed, is that like, I feel like that's an anti-chess term, right? Right. I don't even see. Is Devanch even watching? I don't think he's watching. He's not even paying attention. Maybe he's already in bed. Alright, so we get rid of the bishop because that has to happen. And now we've got knights in the middle of the board. Very exciting. Don't know. Like, this is coming up here. Like, knight's in the middle, but I don't see mate for either person. So now this square is being attacked. And maybe Flo comes out ahead in that spot. What is going on here? Yeah, this is a very good game. So I think Pepsi felt he had to get rid of that knight, and he did. And he puts the rook back. This square's now double covered. Flo's not going to want to dump his knight. At some point, I feel like this comes sliding over. He does dump the knight, though. I don't know if I like Pepsi's spot like this. And I didn't look to see, like, could he move his knight? Could he retreated it instead of getting rid of it? Or just left it there? So puts a pin. But yeah, so now this is moving over, and you might see this move up to set up a tempo. And Pepsi down to 10 seconds here. Holy cow, what a series. He's going to give him, yeah, he gives himself some space to move his rook, but Flo setting up the 2 kills. So Pepsi comes over here and says you can't do that. Because then this square is double covered. Holy cow. Or, okay, I was going to say, is there any chance for like an intermediate? But there's not, because this piece is still sitting here. But now can we do the intermediate? Like just move here. And attack. Flo's got 10 seconds to find it. He doesn't. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Holy cow. Flo had it. So both players going to move kind of quick to reposition themselves. Yeah, I'm not sure with that. And Flo's just going to keep pushing. Alright, so it sits in between. So this, I can't even. 13 seconds. Flo's got to be careful. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you just get the rook over, but now this is coming up and releasing this pawn. Flo moves. That feels like a panic move. Like you can ditch this pawn and then push. Sets up a second kill. So he lines this up. So this is not happening anymore. Or maybe it still does. Like it's... maybe coming back. Going towards. And Flo retreats. 9 seconds for Pepsi. This is nuts. Alright, so kind of... so the double pawns are sitting here. Like, that's... I think that's safe. Six seconds. And Flo can... I feel like this is almost like a draw, though. Like, Flo can just keep his pieces down here. So he gets rid of the bishop. So now Flo's coming over this way. Holy cow. This game. What is happening? Oh my gosh. It's Bishop? Oh my gosh, how did this get to where it is? Holy cow. Holy cow. So Flo comes out and wins. He had the game won before. That was such an intense match. Congratulations to Flo. Well played by both players. A lot of fun to watch. And so Flo does get to move on. So he will play Kex in the first semifinal, which is a rematch from the final from last year. So great series. I'm glad I was able to watch it. Hopefully there's a week break before the next games start, and then